So I buy a lot of drinks, mostly teas and juices, but the occasional soda. Imagine my surprise when I noticed that my drink is being taxed. At first I thought, this can't be right. They don't tax food products, just alcohol, and of course the meals tax. But this wasn't either. The drink wasn't alcoholic nor part of a meal. So I went and looked to see what had changed without my noticing. Well, it was the sugary drink tax. Vermont Bill H-235 created a tax on sugar-sweetened beverages that came into effect in July of this year, 2015. The premise of this tax is that sugar-sweetened beverages are filled with more sugar than the body needs in a form more readily available than when it comes from other sources. From what I've read, this is empirically true. However, the bill asserts that this added sugar is automatically bad for you and that such beverages are bad for you. On the assertion that these drinks are bad for you, the lawmakers have decided that they should help people make more responsible choices by taxing beverages they determine to be unhealthy in order to steer people toward healthier alternatives. Because, of course, since these drinks lead to obesity, and obesity leads to preventable illnesses such as type 2 diabetes, cancer, and heart disease, and as we now have socialized health care, your health is everyone's problem. Now, fat shaming, victim blaming, and scaremongering aside, this sets a fairly scary precedent for the government taking control of lifestyle choices that can be considered unhealthy. That bothers me as I tend to be of the opinion that people should have the right to do what they want with their own bodies. But let's look at the bullshit factor of this tax a little more, shall we? I'll link to the two documents I'll be referencing so that you can read them for yourself and draw your own conclusions. They're the text of H-235 and the sugary drink fact sheet from the state website. The bill states that sugar-sweetened beverages provide no nutritional value and contain unhealthy amounts of added sugar. Taxes and subsidies on food can influence consumption, and numerous peer-reviewed public health studies recommend that sugar-sweetened beverage taxes should be implemented as part of a comprehensive strategy to prevent obesity. I don't trust social engineering. I figure that, as obesity is the gateway disease to diabetes, social engineering is the gateway programming to eugenics. But that's no reason to argue with a tax, right? After all, the profits will go to good causes. A third of the funding will go to the Vermont Healthy Weight Initiative Fund, and the rest will go to the State Healthcare Resources Fund. So it'll at least go to help those people who get sick from eating what the government suggests is bad, the same people who pay the tax. And the Healthy Weight Fund is used to subsidize fruit and vegetable purchases for low-income groups such as WIC, the Special Supplemental Nutritional Program for Women, Infants, and Children, as well as to help get energy-efficient refrigeration for small food retailers and to provide EBT terminals at farmers markets. All of these things are pretty good, too. According to the fact sheet, there's a laundry list of criteria for what apply as sugary additives. Sugar, agave, aspartame, barley malts, corn syrup, dextrose, erythritol, evaporated cane juice, fructose, fruit juice concentrate, honey, invert sugar, maltitol, maple syrup, molasses, rice syrup, saccharin, stevia, sucralose, sucrose, or other natural or artificial sweeteners. Interestingly, anything with milk, soy, or other milk substitutes, or drinks with greater than 50% juice content are not to be taxed. Also not taxed, any purchases made with an EBT. So anyone in a low enough tax bracket that the government is paying for your food is immune from the tax to make what you drink healthier. Call me cynical, but in my experience, the people who can't afford food will buy for quantity over quality. Not everyone mind, but most of them will buy the cheap soda over the expensive 100% juice because it is, of course, cheaper by the ounce. In theory, at least, it's fiscally responsible. For those people on EBT, that means soda is still cheaper than most healthier options. For those people who earn barely more than is allowed for them to get government help, though, this means soda is now actually preferable to most healthier drinks. Why? Because ounce for ounce, the soda is now much cheaper than the healthier alternatives. Welch's juice, for example, is healthier than Coke or Pepsi. It's also more expensive. But many of Welch's juices are less than 50% juice and or are from concentrate. As such, they're hit with the same tax as the sodas. The juice is much more expensive than the soda, and both are taxed 6% on the purchase price. What does this mean? Well, a dollar soda costs $1.06, where the same size juice costing $3 is now $3.18. The juice is now 12 cents more expensive than the soda in relation to the cost pre-tax. 12 cents isn't much, but when you're on a tight budget, it can make or break you. Using EBT, SNAP, or food stamps, the tax doesn't matter. It doesn't exist, so there's no pressure to change at all. But if you're already struggling to make ends meet, you're going to start going for the cheaper stuff because it's even more affordable than before. Remember, this was to encourage people to make healthier choices. If you're too poor to pay yourself or too rich to care, you're not going to notice it at all. Everyone else, though, you're going to bleed. I've started buying all sorts of drinks in order to see what gets hit and what doesn't. And I gotta say, it's pretty disappointing. Part of this is because of what is and isn't being considered healthy. While the juice is unhealthy, Starbucks Frappuccinos are considered healthy because they have milk in them. What? No, really. That sugary coffee drink is better for you than a Gatorade. I don't care what your common sense or nutrition degree says, it's the law. And you may think it's crazy, but you'll be paying for your opinion because the government knows what's best for you. Worse than that, nobody's entirely sure what should and shouldn't be taxed, so there are a lot of contradictions from store to store. Many of them will err on the side of caution. My club soda was taxed. It's just carbonated water, no sweetener added at all. But the word soda is now taxable. Obviously, this was a poorly constructed idea that is going to do more harm than good at this rate. But hey, what the hell do I know? I'm not a politician. So here's where I start actually listing the drinks that I've bought. Thus far, most of the drinks I've bought have been from Hannaford supermarkets. For those of you who don't know, that's one of the massive chains in New England. I worked at Hannaford when I was in high school for a few years, and I have a bias toward those stores. I don't think that really affects the way the tax operates, but it's why most of them are from Hannaford's. Sorry for the poor picture quality. I'm 3/4 incompetent with a camera. In my defense, it's hereditary. My grandmother can get a finger in front of the lens even if she's not the one holding the camera. You'll notice on some receipts they charge 6% and on others 7% tax. That's not a mistake. Some of the towns in Vermont have an extra 1% tax for making purchases in them. It's an easy way to make money for the town, especially if you're one of the larger areas in the state. Which, Vermont, so take that with some salt, our largest city is the largest city in the U.S. Fun fact. So first receipt is from a South Burlington Hannaford. I got a Welch's Dragon Fruit Mango and a Palm Honey Green Tea. Both were taxed. The Welch's juice is 20% juice. The juices are from concentrate, puree, or puree concentrates. Another ingredient, is it includes high fructose corn syrup. There are 34 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. It's got 59 ounces of drink and comes to $2.69 before tax. The Palm is mostly green tea, but also contains sugar, pomegranate juice concentrate, organic honey, and pomegranate fruit extract. There are 35 grams of sugar in each 12-ounce bottle, and it comes to $1.99 before tax. Next receipt in the same store, I got a Turkey Hill Raspberry Iced Tea, a Minute Maid Simply Orange Juice, a Sobe Life Water, and a Vita Coco Coconut Water. The orange juice and coconut water were not taxed. The Turkey Hill tea contains no fruit juice and contains corn syrup and sugar. There's 24 grams of sugar per 8 ounces, and there's 64 ounces of drink in it. It comes to $1.69 before tax. The Minute Maid contains slightly fortified orange juice. There are 23 grams of sugar in 8 ounces, and it's got 59 ounces of drink. It costs $3.69 and is not taxed. The Sobe Life Water is specifically labeled as calorie and sugar-free, but it still sins. Contents include erythritol and purified stevia leaf extract. It has 0 grams of sugar per 20-ounce bottle and comes to $1.33 before tax. The Vita Coco is practically pure coconut water with less than 1% natural fruit sugar added. There are 11 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. It's got 16.9 ounces of drink, and it costs $2.49, and it's not taxed. So I'm listing this stuff ad nauseum and will continue to do so, but I'm stopping here to point out the difference in price between the healthy drinks and the cheaper ones on this receipt. The Turkey Hill has a few more ounces than the Minute Maid, but is a good deal cheaper, even factoring in tax. Per ounce, the tea is 2.64 cents, 2.83 with tax, while the juice is 6.25 cents. The tax shrinks the cost gap from 237% to 221%. In this case, I agree that the tea is probably less healthy than the juice. But it's also a lot cheaper because corn is subsidized. Therefore, corn products, like the corn syrup the government is saying is unhealthy, are really cheap because the government helps provide them at a really low price. So you're effectively being taxed on something that the government deems bad that you're consuming because the government is making it readily available. Next receipt, same store. I got Polar Guava Mandarin Seltzer, Glasso Orange Vitamin Water, Karma Acai Palmberry Wellness Water, Vita Coco Water with Orange, and Bolthouse Farms Amazing Mango Juice. The seltzer and the vitamin water were taxed. The seltzer is specifically labeled as no sugar and no juice. Its full ingredient list is as follows: carbonated water, natural flavors. There are 0 grams of sugar in each 8-ounce serving. It's got 33.8 ounces of drink and is 79 cents before tax. The vitamin water contains crystalline fructose, cane sugar, and modified food starch. It contains 32 grams of sugar in each 20-ounce bottle and comes to $1.25 before tax. The Karma contains a nominal amount of fruit juice for color. It also sends with stevia leaf extract, cane sugar, white and green tea extracts. It has 3 grams of sugar per 18-ounce bottle and costs $1.79, and it isn't taxed. It's got at least 3 cents, but isn't taxed. Why? Well, the reason is simple. The drink comes as 2 parts. There's water in the bottle, and in the cap is a sealed container of beverage powder. Beverage powders are not taxable, apparently. So this gets a pass because the drink isn't mixed yet. Interestingly, this drink advertises itself with the line, "Transform water into wellness." According to the sugary drink tax, it's true. The Vita Coco is pretty much the same as the previous entry with the addition of some orange juice. Same cost, same volume. The Bolthouse Farms juice is 100% juice. So, despite the sins of having 6 fruit juices from concentrate, it gets a pass. There are 32 grams of sugar in each 8-ounce serving. It's got 32 ounces and costs $3.79 and is not taxed. Next receipt is in Essex Junction, Hannaford. Drinks include Starbucks iced coffee, Starbucks caramel frappuccino, Welch's Farmer's Pick 100% blackberry juice, Polar Club soda, and Polar pomegranate seltzer. There are 2 interesting things about this receipt. Firstly, the seltzer not taxed on this receipt is identical to the seltzer taxed on the previous receipt. Secondly, the club soda is the only thing on this receipt taxed. More on both points later. First, the iced coffee. The coffee has the sin of sugar in its ingredients, but it has the blessing of reduced fat milk in it as well. Because the milk purifies the sugar, this drink cannot be taxed. There are 21 grams of sugar in each 11-ounce bottle, and it costs $1.99. It is not taxed. The Frappuccino has sugar and maltodextrin, but is again purified by reduced fat milk. There are 32 grams of sugar per 9.5-ounce bottle, and a 4-pack costs $5.39. It is not taxed. And the blackberry juice has grape, pear, and blackberry juice concentrates. but is 100% juice. There are 35 grams of sugar, specifically natural fruit sugars only, per 8-ounce serving, and it's got 46 ounces of drink. It comes to $2.69 and is not taxed. The club soda is specifically labeled as no calories. Its full ingredient list is as follows: triple filtered carbonated water, potassium citrate, sodium bicarbonate. There are 0 grams of sugar per 8-ounce serving. It's got 33.8 ounces of drink and is 99 cents before tax. Now, I'm no chemist, but Wikipedia says potassium citrate is a salt and a buffering agent used in soft drinks. Sodium bicarbonate is baking soda. So why is this taxed? Oh, right, it's soda. The seltzer water is specifically labeled as no sugar and no juice. Its full ingredient list is as follows: carbonated water, natural flavors. There are 0 grams of sugar per 8-ounce serving. It's got 33.8 ounces of drink and costs 79 cents. It is not taxed. So basically, the previous seltzer was taxed because it tastes like guava and mandarin orange, but this one only tastes like pomegranate, so it's not taxed. Because reasons. To be fair, according to the rules, neither should have been taxed, as they don't list a sweetener, but list natural flavor. And according to the spreadsheet, plain or flavored club soda or seltzer water with no sweeteners is specifically mentioned as not taxable. So the store's implementation fell through here somehow, despite them being part of the same chain. Moving on, this fifth receipt is from the South Burlington Price Chopper, another New England chain. I hadn't meant to make this one of the test places. I just went in to get some chicken, and it being a Sunday, this was the closest place actually open at 10 at night. I only got one drink. It was a Welch's Farmer's Pick mixed berry juice. It contains 100% juice, but sins with a mix of grape, pear, apple, elderberry, and blackberry juice concentrates. I didn't know apple or pear were berries, but I've been learning a lot lately, so why not? There are 28 grams of sugar, again, natural fruit sugars only, per 8-ounce serving. It's got 46 ounces of drink and comes to $3.29 before tax. That's right, according to this store, this 100% juice with only natural fruit sugars is a sugary drink and bad for you. Receipt 6 is back at the Essex Junction, Hannaford, where I again got the caramel frappuccino because I was making a point to someone I was with, and a 12-pack of Mountain Dew Sangria Blast. The frappuccino, as mentioned above, is 32 grams of sugar per 9.5-ounce bottle. I gave the Mountain Dew to the person I was making my point to without taking a picture of it, but my internet shall supply all your needs according to its riches and glory by Al Gore. So I have a link to the nutrition information. It's probably the only image that doesn't look like a chimp without opposable thumbs took it. The Mountain Dew sins with high fructose corn syrup. There are 43 grams of sugar per 12-ounce can, and a 12-pack comes to $4.29 before tax. So the Frappuccino has 3.37 grams of sugar per 3.58 grams of sugar in the Mountain Dew. That not 0.21 grams of sugar per ounce totally makes a difference. Next receipt, same store, the caramel frappuccino. Would you believe I don't even like this stuff? The mixed berry juice I got at Price Chopper, Cascade Ice coconut flavored sparkling water, kombucha gingerade, the palm honey green tea from before, and Mama Chia raspberry passion chia vitality beverage. Again, the coffee is not taxed and the green tea is. Interestingly, the Welch's mixed berry that was taxed at the Price Chopper wasn't taxed at the Hannaford, and it's 60 cents cheaper before tax, so there's the free market at work. Every other drink is taxed. The Cascade Ice Coconut Sparkling Water specifically states that it is sugar, sodium, gluten, and caffeine-free, contains 1% fruit juice, but contains no coconut. Its contents sin with pear juice concentrate and sucralose. It also contains glycerol ester of wood rosin, which sounds gross, but is apparently an alternative to brominated vegetable oil, so I'll give it a pass for now. It's used to suspend oils in water. Less pure versions of the stuff are used in some cheap adhesives. Cool or gross? You decide. The drink didn't taste right in my opinion, but no wood flavor or aftertaste, so I let it keep the pass. Tangent aside, there are 0 grams of sugar per 8-ounce serving. It has 17.2 ounces of drink and comes to 99 cents before tax. The kombucha's full ingredient list is as follows: 100% GT's organic raw kombucha, fresh pressed ginger juice, and 100% pure love! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Both kombucha and ginger are noted as being organically produced, though there's no such note on the love. It's both gluten-free and vegan, but still tastes good to me, so that's sort of a first. And because of how it's bottled, there's a trace amount of alcohol, which might explain why the vegan bit is okay. There are 2 grams of sugar per 8-ounce serving. It has 16 ounces of drink and comes to $2.99 before tax. The fact sheet specifically says kombucha with no added sweeteners are not taxable, so the ginger juice must be a natural sweetener. I've a redheaded friend who will make a joke about that. Also interesting, there's a warning to check with a doctor before drinking kombucha if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. My doctor said I'm probably safe. The chia drink is sold as a vitality beverage and touts certain health benefits like it having 2,500 milligrams of omega-3s and being an excellent source of fiber, despite its lack of wood rosin. So that's good, right? Well, it sins with agave and passion fruit and raspberry fruit concentrates, so it's still taxable. There are 14 grams of sugar per 10-ounce bottle, and it comes to $2.99 before tax. Just to refresh on that, a chia drink with whole chia seeds is a sugar-sweetened beverage that provides no nutritional value and contains unhealthy amounts of added sugar at 1.4 gram per ounce. But Starbucks Frappuccino is healthy and good for you because it's not a soft drink at 3.37 grams per ounce. Next receipt, South Burlington Healthy Living. This is a healthy food store, as the name implies, so, organics and shit. I got a pair of unsweetened teas, Reed's ginger brew, aloe juice, and I got the kombucha and chia drink again. This is the only receipt I've got that doesn't itemize their products, so I had to do the math myself. As far as I could tell, either the only thing taxed is the ginger brew, or the ginger brew isn't taxed, but the kombucha and the chia are. I'm leaning toward the ginger brew because it makes more sense. The teas are both completely clean of anything offensive. There are no grams of sugar per 16.9 ounce bottle, and they cost $2.50 and are not taxed. The ginger brew has cane sugar, honey, and pineapple, lemon, and lime juice concentrates. There are 33 grams of sugar per 12-ounce bottle, and a 4-pack comes to $5.99 before tax. The aloe juice is 15% juice. It contains cane sugar and honey. There are 15 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. It's got 50.7 ounces of drink and costs $4.99. It is not taxed. The kombucha and chia drinks are identical to what they were before. Well, they got rounded up the penny to $3 each. Next receipt, Essex Junction Rite Aid. It's sort of a stop and rob chain. I got a smaller bottle of the aloe, a Hood chocolate milk, and a pair of orange Gatorade bottles because I realized I made a Gatorade joke when writing earlier and figured I should at least have it in. Everything was taxed except the chocolate milk. So kids, remember this. Chocolate milk is good for you and isn't a sugary drink. Tell your moms the government says so. The smaller bottle of aloe is identical in contents, but is only a 16.9 ounce bottle. It comes to $1.99 before tax. So here again, there's a store-to-store difference since the Healthy Living doesn't tax where the Rite Aid does. The chocolate milk has sugar, cocoa, and vanilla, but since it's got milk in it, that's okay. There are 28 grams of sugar per 8 ounce serving. It's got 14 ounces of drink and costs $1.29. It is not taxed. The Gatorades contain sugar and dextrose. There are 21 grams of sugar per 12 ounce serving, and there's 28 ounces of drink in a bottle. A bottle of Gatorade comes to $2.29 before tax. Last receipt is back at the South Burlington Hannaford. I realized it had actually been a while since I'd bought a 2 liter of soda. So I got a Mountain Dew and the Reed's Ginger Brew. Both were taxed, no surprise. The Mountain Dew sings with high fructose corn syrup and concentrated orange juice. There are 46 grams of sugar per 12 ounces. It's got 67.63 ounces of drink and comes to $1.34 before tax. The ginger brew was effectively the same as at Healthy Living, except I got the extra ginger instead of original. There was no change in ingredients or nutrition facts, but it only came to $4.69 before tax. So again, free market. Remember, the government knows what's best for your body and will punish you for drinking beverages that are bad for you. If you want your state to work the same as Vermont, vote for Bernie Sanders for POTUS. What could possibly go wrong? No, but in seriousness, paranoid as this sounds, a lot of the crazy bullshit that's happening here in Vermont is because out-of-staters like Bernie come in and fuddle things they've no business fuddling, then complain when everything's fuddled. Please, foreign devils from Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, etc., go home. You're not wanted here. Didn't you see the sign when you drove in? Welcome to Vermont. Now leave.